Hey guys, welcome to Recipes for Rescue, another episode. Today we're going to do something great. Well, we've got some new guests with us today. Check it out. We've got Zena, she's the little white one. We've got Carlos, he's this little guy. Negra, she's in a recurring role today. And that's Chico, that little guy over there. They're all little nuts. But we're going to have them in the kitchen with us today while we're cooking. This is a really cool dish. It's kind of my Costa Rican version of a bananas flambé. We're going to do a plantains flambé. We're going to work with incredibly ripe plantains. They're almost black. When plantains are not like bananas, when they get really ripe and they're black on the outside, they're not black on the inside. Excellent to work with. They sweeten and caramelize in butter so deliciously. So we're gonna caramelize these in some hot butter, and then we're gonna do some Costa Rican rum. We're gonna do a little chocolate sauce, right? So we'll do a little flambé, and we're gonna do some chocolate sauce. We'll serve a little ice cream. It's gonna be a banana split flambé kind of Sunday mix, okay? So let's get started, okay? First we're gonna slice our plantains. A knife might be helpful. All right, so we're gonna slice our plantains. I'm gonna cut them in half first. Cut them in half. I usually cut my ends off. Okay, they're really soft. So I'm just gonna do a little slit right there. And then look at when they're soft like this, the skin just peels right off. Just like that when they're small pieces. What's going on down there, buddy? He's talking to us. All right, so I'm gonna do that to all four. Slice them like that. And we're gonna get our fire going on both of our pans that we're gonna be using back here. All right. Okay, little girl here. She's ready to get some food now. Although I don't think chocolate sauce is gonna work for the puppies today. All right, so we've got them all half cut. You guys see we've got everything here. We've got chocolate, we've got sugar, we've got a little mint for garnish, we've got some milk, we've got rum, we've got butter, because we're definitely gonna use a lot of butter. Right now I'm gonna throw 2 of these squares in here, so half a stick basically, into our pan that we're gonna saute our plantains in, okay? That's on a pretty high heat because we want the butter to melt, and we want it to be hot because when we throw our plantains in there, we want them to get nice and toasty. We don't want to burn the butter, but we want it to be nice and hot, and we want our plantains to get nice and toasted on the outside. They're soft like pudding on the inside when they're ripe like this. Our butter's melting up nicely here. We got a nice little sizzle going there. So even though it's not all melted, I'm gonna go ahead and put in my plantains and get those going. Doesn't really matter what side you start with because we're gonna flip them so they get nice and toasty brown. All right, so we're gonna flip those, cool. So those are all going. That butter's gonna continue to melt. It's on a pretty high flame as you can see, so it's gonna start cooking up to a medium high so we don't burn the butter, right? All right, so we've got those going. We've got our rum that's gonna go in with those. We're gonna set that here. And now we're gonna start working on our chocolate sauce while we're cooking those. Look, we have a pan here. This is a kind of a different way to make a quick stovetop chocolate sauce. Now you could use a double boiler and with the cream and the chocolate, but I'm gonna do something a little different. We're gonna cook a little butter first. I'm gonna throw in 1/4 of a stick of butter. I have 1.5 cups of chocolate and I have 1.5 cups of milk. All right, and that's how we're gonna emulsify this. We're gonna put our chocolate powder in with the butter first. We're gonna whisk it, and then we're gonna slowly add our milk, and it's gonna become a creamy chocolate that is gonna be hot, and we can use it right away to put on the ice cream and the plantains that we flambéed. All right, perfect. As you can see, these are cooking up, right? I'm gonna turn my fire up here under this. All right, guys, so take a look here. We've got our butter cooking up. I'm gonna turn that down to a low heat. And we're gonna add our chocolate and we're gonna whisk it in, all right? I took it off the fire just a little bit so I could whisk it a little easier without the heat. All right, and now you can see it's kind of a pasty chocolate, right? With that butter. Okay, now we're gonna check our plantains. All right, so let's flip our plantains, look at that. Beautiful. Look at that, so nice and toasty brown. That's what we want. We're gonna leave those like that for a second. And we're gonna add, look, Now we're gonna add our milk. I actually only used about a cup of the powder in that. Now we're gonna add our milk. And then watch what happens. It's kind of magic to make something really yummy. And look at how that's like getting really nice and shiny and enriching up. I'm gonna put a little bit more milk in there to thin it out so it's a nice and saucy, right? Just like that, not too much. So you gotta do a nice little whisk. You can even use a bigger pan. This is kind of a small pan, but. So I ended up using about my 1.5 cups of milk. And that thickens as you cook it. All right, so our plantains are looking good. We're gonna be careful, we're gonna flambe. Check this out, boom. Woo, big one. There it is. Plantains flambe. We've got our chocolate sauce. We're gonna bring that to a little, it'll start to kind of get hot and boil. And look how thick and rich and delicious that looks. Okay, we've just got to add a little sugar. So we're going to add 3 tablespoons of sugar. And we're going to whisk that in. It's nice and hot, it'll just melt right in. We don't want it too sweet, but that 3 tablespoons kind of sounds like a lot, but it's actually, we'll just, with this semi-sweet chocolate, we'll just melt right in. I'm sorry, unsweetened. Unsweetened chocolate, it'll just melt right in. And we've got our flambe done. We're gonna turn off our plantains. We're gonna let this get to a little bit of a boil right there, right? So, but look how nice and rich that is. As that heats up, it just gets a little richer. That makes a great ganache when you stick it in the fridge, right? Later, it'll thicken up. All right, so I'm gonna put these right over here, guys. Let's see, let's get a nice plate over here. Get all fancy here and we'll put it on a teardrop plate. All right, guys, so we're just gonna, in here. Now we've got a little ice cream, so it's gonna, you know, it's a Sunday flambe plantain thing. So we'll get some ice cream out in a minute. So I'm gonna put on our nice, pretty plantains. We'll just kind of lay them across. Might do a third one, right, just like that. Okay, look at that. Now we'll get our ice cream. I love it when it comes scooped. All right, great. So let's put a nice little scoop of ice cream right on there. Okay. And we're gonna get a little spoon for our chocolate sauce. Nice and hot. Look at that steam coming off of there. Little spots around for decoration, right? A couple of mint leaves. There it is, guys. What do you think? Delicious. Make this at home. It's easy. Plantains are easy to get. You could substitute bananas, but make the chocolate sauce. You'll love it. You'll save it. You'll eat it forever until it's gone. Remember our puppies here, crdogrescue.com. If you like this recipe, go donate a little bit of money, $5 on PayPal to crdogrescue.com. And we'll see you for the next episode, guys. Thanks for coming. All right.